Hello, Lens Legends, and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we expand our knowledge on the business side of portrait photography so that you are confident that you're on the path that leads to your success. I am your host, Jim Landers, your trusted guide on the business side. And today I have a topic that's going to be helpful no matter how much money you have. We're talking about photography education on a tight budget. Now, before I get into the topic, I want to apologize for being late this time. I don't know what's going on. Our internet is down in the neighborhood, and I couldn't connect to my phone, which is always the plan B because it's happened before. Couldn't do it. So I'm coming to you from my phone. I haven't done it from my phone before. Everything is really tall on my little menu over here. So it might be a little different than normal, but I'm going to try to make it just as good as normal. So I want you to know that the Portrait Profit Show is sponsored by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing team, man, they are wonderful. They care about you. They are career people, and they make you look like a hero. And of course, for me at Landers Photography School, I teach photography classes. I love photography, but you know what I love the most? Helping photographers make a living at their passion. So yep, I teach the photography side, but I really have come to love the business side. So give me a call or send me an email, jim@landersphotoschool.com. Do me a favor. Take a moment to share this show with other photographers. I encourage you to make comments as we go throughout the presentation and ask questions throughout the entire thing in the comments section. Speaking of the comments section, right now, I want you to enter in hashtag live. Hashtag live. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching later, then I want you to enter in the replay. But if you're watching right now live, then enter in hashtag live. I also encourage you to hit that like and love button each time you hear something that you appreciate or you resonate with. Photography education on a tight budget. That's what we're here to talk about today. So whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, we all know that education can sometimes come with a hefty price tag. I certainly think that it is often worth every penny. But what if you just don't have enough pennies? All right, well, not to worry. I've got you covered with loads of cost-effective tips and tricks to help you get the education you need without breaking the bank. Free and low-cost photography education is important because it opens doors for individuals who might not have the financial means to attend expensive workshops or participate in different programs, hire a coach, or go to school. It allows everyone to pursue their passion regardless of their budget. So let's get started. Now, before we dive into all the resources and tips, I want to share with you a bit of my own experience with helping others to learn on a budget while I was doing full-time photography. I'm doing full-time teaching now. So yes, I do have an occasional job, but I'm a photography job, but that's not what I do full-time. I am a photography teacher full-time. So I want to share with you a bit of my own experience with helping others to learn on a budget. So not long ago, when I was a full-time portrait and event photographer, I had a 3-tiered program that I created for my photography business that helped a lot of aspiring photographers to get their start without spending a fortune. And the first one I'll share with you was our apprentice program. This was for truly serious, those who were truly serious about starting a photography business, but it wasn't for everyone because it required a big time commitment, almost full-time. The deal was simple. You work for knowledge, not money. I can't tell you how many people, how many talented individuals came through this program. They were willing and happy to exchange their time to learn the ins and outs of business from a photographer with decades of experience. Then we had the second of the three. We had an intern program. This was very similar to the apprentice program, but designed for those who couldn't commit full time. This was perfect for students, for full-time moms, or anyone with a busy schedule, but still a burning desire to start their own photography business. Just like the apprentice program, they exchanged their time for knowledge, learning everything they could to avoid the common pitfalls that caused 19 out of 20 photographers to fail within the first few years. And then third, We had the shadow program. This one was a bit different because it had a cost associated with it. Wasn't much. It was $25 per session or $25 per hour. It depended on what they wanted. So photographers could shadow me during a photography session. That would be a session. That would be the session, $25 a session, or spend time with me in the office. That would be $25 an hour. So uh, they would be spending time learning directly with me. It was a way to get that real world experience and see firsthand what it takes to run a successful photography business. These programs were rewarding for the participants as well as for me. For the participants, these programs provided invaluable hands-on experience that no classroom could ever replicate. And the best part, they were accessible to anyone willing to put in the time and effort. All they had to do was reach out to me. Now you may think, why is he sharing something that doesn't exist anymore? I can't benefit from that. Well, it's because you could implement the same programs into your business. So this lesson today is not just what you can receive. It's also about what you can give back. Oh, and as luck would have it, it is something that you get. It's a great way for you to learn because when you explain to others what it is that you do, you become better at it. So there's your first suggestion. Share your knowledge with others, uplift others as you uplift yourself. Man, I'm excited to share these tips and ideas with you today. There are so many budget friendly ways to learn and grow as a photographer. I'm going to cover a lot of them, but there are far too many for just a 1 hour program. But I'm going to share quite a few with you. Now, again, if you're enjoying this, go to the comment section and tell me what you're thinking. Share with me the different thoughts and ideas that you have. I want you to get involved in this presentation. One of the cool realities of photographers, you lens legends who are watching the Portrait Profit Show, is that you are a community of wealth and knowledge and experience. So I invite you to share your own budget-friendly education tips in the comments throughout the show. Hope you're doing that right now. For instance, if you found an incredible free online resource, maybe you've participated in the local workshop that didn't cost a fortune, but was incredibly valuable. Or perhaps you've discovered some creative ways to get hands-on experience without spending a lot of money. Whatever it is, I want to hear about it. We all want to hear about it. Feel free to drop your tips and experiences in the comments as we go along. Not only will this help you and your fellow photographers, but I'll also be highlighting some of these tips during the episode. Let's make this a collaborative and interactive session where we all learn from each other. So start typing those tips and let's make this time together fantastic, engaging, and educational. Now let's dive into the first segment on free and online resources for photography education. And by the way, I looked over here to the side. For whatever reason, there is a change on, I guess my computer has connected to my phone's hotspot. That took a long time. I'm not going to switch to it because if it took that long, that's probably a problem. But I'm going to go over to the comment section. Have you guys already entered in hashtag live? I see a whole bunch of you have already. I see, man, there's a whole bunch and a bunch of, thank you. I appreciate you saying that, Alyssa. There are a bunch of you guys who are watching this, and I can't tell who you are because it just says Facebook user. But no matter what, if I can see your name or not, I appreciate you guys being here. You're wonderful. But do me a favor, if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live. I can see there's a bunch of you that haven't entered in hashtag live yet. Woo! All right. I want you to do that for me. Now, let's talk about these free online resources. There are some fantastic free online resources. And let me put that up on the screen. Where is that? There we go. And that you can use. And of course, I'm going to start with one of the ones that I provide, live streams and podcasts. Well, this Portrait Profit Show. This live stream that you're watching and enjoying right now is free. The Portrait Profit Show is proudly sponsored by Amanda Dominguez of Digital Pro Lab and me, Jim Landers of Landers Photography School. This, by the way, isn't free to us, to Amanda and I. We invest quite a bit in terms of both time and money. So, but both of us believe strongly in uplifting the photographer community. So I'm here every week to bring you this valuable content to help you grow in your photography business. We also have, in addition to live streams and podcasts, we've got YouTube. YouTube is fantastic. So people call it YouTube University, but you've got tutorials online. It's a goldmine for free photography education and business and a lot of other things. Here are some popular channels that you might want to check out. Let me put that on the screen so you have that. But this is Peter McKinnon. His channel is full of tutorials for all levels, and he's got an engaging style that makes it kind of fun to learn with him. The second one I want to bring up is Jessica Kobiesi, and her tutorials are on portrait photography. They're on editing. There's creative tips. She also does some fun challenges that can spark your creativity. I also want to talk about Tony and Chelsea Northrup. They've got some in-depth tutorials on both photography and videography, and they cover things like gear reviews and post-processing techniques. They work real well together. And then the fourth one that I want to bring to your attention is Fro Knows Photo. This is Jared Poland. Jared is high energy, and his channel is great for beginners. There's hands-on tutorials. There's great gear reviews. And did I mention he's high energy? All right. Be sure to explore their playlists that are tailored for both beginners and advanced learners. For example, Peter McKinnon's 2-Minute Tuesday series offers some quick tips that you can apply right away, while Tony and Chelsea Northrup have live critiques every Thursday. So they all have something different, something interesting that you can use. Photography blogs and websites is what's next. So let's talk about some of the top photography blogs and websites that offer free tutorials and other resources. The first is Digital Photography School. So digital-photography-school.com. The site has a wealth of articles and tutorials covering every aspect of photography. They offer free ebooks that are perfect for learning on the go. They also have petapixel.com. They're known for their news and reviews. They have tutorials. They've got tips for photographers of all levels. I also want to mention F-Stoppers at fstoppers.com, because they offer a mix of tutorials, gear reviews, inspirational stories from the world of photography. Their education content is top-notch and easy to access. The last one of this type I want to mention is photographylife.com. This is a blog that's full of detailed guides, tutorials. They've got all different types of topics. They also offer ebooks and so just a bunch of things. So if you have an interest in any of those, I went through them quickly, so you might have to, after this is done, go back and rewatch it. But make sure to bookmark these sites that I'm mentioning and check with them, regularly if you resonate with them, because they're blogs that they've got newsletters, they've got emails that can be sent straight to your inbox. Just a bunch of cool stuff. Now, the next one I want to mention to you is, by the way, if this is helping, let me know. Go over to the comment section and tell me that this is beneficial to you. It's helping. This is good. I like this. Let me know in the comments. The next one I want to mention to you are online communities and forums. So joining online photography communities and forums can provide you with peer support and valuable feedback. So I want to list a few of them. If you are on Reddit, you can go to r/photography. Let me put that up on the screen. There we go. Their photography subreddit is a vibrant community where you can share your work, you can ask for feedback, you can learn from others. And then you have other ones like the DP Review forums, dpreview.com/forums. The forums are for pretty much every single aspect of photography, from beginner questions to advanced technical discussions. And I don't know a lot of people who are on Flickr. Now, it used to be a lot of people were on it, but it seems like there's fewer. But it is still a good group for photographers. So Flickr, FLICKR.com/groups. Let me take that one off. Flickr, there's no E in Flickr. It's just flick and then the letter R.com/groups. These are a fantastic way to connect with other photographers from all over. You can share your photographs. You can participate in their themed challenges. Cool group. And then, of course, Facebook groups. There are countless photography related groups on Facebook where you can join discussions, share your work, and get advice from fellow photographers. The one I want to share with you right now is the one that I'm the administrator for, is the San Antonio Photography Group. I'll put that up on the screen. So San Antonio Photography. There is another one that's very similar. That's called San Antonio Photography Facebook Group. It actually has that in its title. Mine's just called San Antonio Photography. The other one that's San Antonio Photography Facebook Group. They're out of New Zealand, so they're actually not local. There are a lot of local people in it, but this is a company that's from somewhere else that has these set up in lots of different cities throughout the world. So, is it local? There's a lot of local people in it. But this one, the San Antonio Photography Group, is absolutely local with over 11,000 photographers and related fields. So it's not just photographers; it's also models and hair and makeup and a handful of other vendors that you might find at events, and even some clients who are looking for photographers. This is a community that has a lively discussion every single day. So just go to facebook.com/groups. /SA photo. Engaging with these communities not only helps you improve skills, but also keeps you motivated and inspired by seeing what others are creating. So there you have it. Some top-notch free and online resources to enhance your photography education. Remember to share your own favorite resources in the comments. Go over there right now. Share what you know in the comments. Let us all know. Now, let's move on to some hands-on learning opportunities that you can explore. Now that we've covered some fantastic free online resources, let's move to hands-on learning opportunities. These methods are great for gaining practical experience and learning directly from seasoned professionals. As I mentioned earlier, I used to run an apprentice, intern, and shadow program in my photography business. These programs provided photographers with valuable hands-on experience, each tailored to different levels of time, commitment, and learning needs. On the intern and apprentice side, one of the best ways to gain hands-on experience is through internships, and apprenticeships. Let me give you a couple of ideas on how you might get started with this or similar opportunities. Within internships, look for local photographers or studios offering internships. Now, not every studio or photography business offers this kind of thing. It may be that they're willing to do it, but they don't have anything that you can actually see, like a link on their website that talks about it. And so this is something where even if you don't find any information about it, but you like the person, you reach out to them and find out if they have something like this available. And their initial response quite often is going to be no, because they've never considered it before. They're busy. So you might have to talk them into it just a little bit. But these positions are often part-time and allow you to learn while maintaining other commitments. Interns help with various tasks and get to observe professional workflows up close. In my intern program, participants who couldn't commit full-time, like students, full-time parents, they were the ones who found this very beneficial. Now, with apprenticeships, it's just a bigger time commitment. It's relatively the same thing. For mine, there absolutely were some additional differences to define what it is that they do. So maybe there are differences, maybe there's not other than time. But apprenticeships are longer. They require more time commitment. You're often assisting in photography sessions. You're learning the business side of photography. This full-time or near full-time role is ideal for those very serious about starting their own business and have the time to commit to it. So my apprentice program was designed for those dedicated to learning every aspect of the business in exchange for their time and effort. And then shadow programs. Another excellent opportunity is shadowing a professional photographer. My shadow program allowed participants to allowed participants to spend sessions with me for a fee. They could join me during a session. They could join me while I'm working in the office. So while some photographers offer shadow programs for free, just hanging out, others might charge a small fee. This fee is often worth the investment as you gain direct insights and tips from experienced professionals. Now, you may wonder, why would a photographer charge for that? Well, you're taking up their time. And if it takes up someone's time, if they were working in some other business, wouldn't they have a salary or hourly pay? Of course. So if it takes up more of my time, it costs more of your money. Now, why are the intern and apprentice for free? Why do I not charge for that then? Well, because they were actually working, they were doing things in the business that were beneficial to me. So they were learning and helping. It was a win-win situation. We always want to seek win-win situations in everything that we do. Next thing I want you to talk about is work and learn. Earlier, we talked about working with photographers as an intern or apprentice. Now let's explore another avenue, getting a job with a local photographer or studio where you are paid to do the work. Or getting a job doing something that you want to learn, because it doesn't have to be in the photography field. There may be something else you want to learn. So these opportunities not only enhance your skills, but also help you build a network and gain real world insights. Now, the working with photographer, that one makes sense. Maybe working with some other type of business, maybe that doesn't. So let me go into that just a bit more. Years ago, this would be in 1996, not that long after I started Landers Photography, I knew that I needed to learn how to use the internet. I needed to learn how to build a website. I needed to learn how to do all that kind of stuff because the internet was relatively new then, and really very few photographers had websites. I When I started my website, I actually felt like I was behind. I don't know why I felt that way. In hindsight, that was kind of crazy, but I actually felt like I was one of the last ones to do it, but that wound up not being the case. I wound up being one of the early adopters, not one of the first, but as far as percentages of photographers, I was relatively early on. And so I needed to learn how to do that stuff. But I had no budget for taking classes. I didn't want to take the time. I certainly didn't want to go back to college. So I got a job at an internet service provider. I worked as a salesperson so I could gain sales knowledge also while I was there. So while I learned a lot about search engine optimization, website building, and quite a bit more while I was doing this, I also wound up making money doing it. So hey, win-win. And so that one is the one where maybe you don't get it quite so much, but hopefully now photographers, that probably does make sense. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because man, one of the best ways to learn the ins and outs of photography business is by working with a respected local photographer. And maybe the benefits are obvious, but let me point out a few. Sales experience. Working as a salesperson can teach you valuable sales and client service skills. You'll learn how to interact with clients, understand their needs, and help them choose the right products and services. By the way, just in case you don't know, most people have an idea or a stereotype of a salesperson that is wrong. It's completely wrong. It's based on their experience, so that is what makes it right. But as far as the definition of a salesperson, it's just someone else get what they want. And isn't that what you want from your photography business? You want to help people get what they want? Yeah, you're a salesperson. It's just you've probably experienced some salespeople who were, well, not doing it right. Number two, hands-on learning. As an assistant, you get to observe and participate in photography sessions. You're gaining practical knowledge about lighting, composition, camera settings, how to communicate with the clients. You'll also learn about the sales and client workflow, from client consultations to post-processing. Well, let's look at to learn about networking when working with other photographers. We get to observe what it is they're doing. Working with a professional photographer may allow you to meet other photographers, allow you to meet clients, allow you to meet industry professionals. During this time, you have this ability to build relationships that can lead to future job opportunities. You're gaining business insights. You're being part of a profitable operation. This gives you behind the scenes look at how a photography business runs, at least one that's profitable. You'll learn about scheduling, marketing, client management, and other essential operations that are critical for your business success. Overall, working with a photographer provides a experience that combines technical skills, business knowledge, and industry networking. Now, something that you are likely familiar with is second shooting. For those interested in event photography specifically, there are second shooters in other types, but it's mostly event photography. This second shooting is a fantastic way to gain experience. This involves working as a secondary photographer at events like weddings. You'll be photographing alongside a primary photographer, someone who is you are under them. I say alongside, I don't mean you're connected at the hip. I just mean that you aren't the one responsible for everything. Someone else is. There's someone there to talk to. There's someone there to direct you. Who's going to tell you what it is that they want photographed. So you're learning how to manage event photography, communicate with clients and their guests, and create images from different angles and lighting conditions. So second shooting not only provides valuable experience, but also helps you build relationships within the industry. It's a great way to learn on the job and see how professionals handle different scenarios. I'll tell you how you might want to go about a second shooting opportunity. One is networking. So start by connecting with established photographers in your area or the area you want to work in. Attend local photography events. Join online communities so that you can meet them. And then offer your services. Reach out to photographers. Offer to assist them as a second shooter. Highlight your enthusiasm and your willingness to learn. You're probably well aware of the benefits to being a second shooter, but let's talk about, in addition to the ones I've already talked about, there's also a portfolio building, because you're going to be able to help you build a diverse portfolio, making you more attractive for future opportunities. And then, of course, you've got the skill development. You're gaining real world experience with different camera settings, lenses, lighting conditions, different scenarios. You also are getting industry connections. You're building valuable connections that can lead to referrals and collaborations. And then you're learning a professional workflow. You're observing and assisting the primary photographer to learn their workflow from the planning to the post-processing. Now, another way to gain this hands-on experience, where you're not second shooting, maybe you're volunteering. You're gaining real world experience. You're adding to your portfolio, but you're working with organizations that do not already hire a photographer, and lean towards groups that you've got an emotional connection to, that you like what it is that they're doing already. So here's how to make the most out of volunteering opportunities. So one is community events. So you look for opportunities to volunteer your photography services at local photography events, or local events such as festivals, charity runs, school functions, anything that doesn't already have a paid photographer working. Do not offer your free services when there is a photographer already getting paid for that service. That's just plain rude and selfish. Now you may say, well, I didn't know. No excuse. You can easily find out. Only talk to those who can't afford a photographer, who are not going to be hiring a photographer, but that your images are beneficial to them. So you don't want to accidentally take away business from another photographer. These events could benefit from having photographs of the activities and the participants, giving you a chance to practice in real life settings. It's just local organizations. So you reach out to local nonprofits, animal shelters, community centers that might appreciate photography services for their events, for their promotional materials, for their social media. Volunteering for these organizations can help you build a diverse portfolio and gain exposure. And of course, we're gaining with networking. Your volunteering allows you to meet different people from lots of different walks of life, including event organizers, participants, other volunteers. Your goal is to meet every single mover and shaker and every vendor while you are there and collect their contact information. These connections are going to lead to paid paid work in or recommend potential clients. And of course, you're developing your skills as you do this. You'll be working in different environments, different lighting conditions, time constraints, personalities, requests, and various subjects. This variety helps you develop a wide range of skills to adapt to different conditions. And the cool side effect, maybe your main reason, is giving back. So beyond the professional benefits, volunteering is a way to give back to your community. It's a rewarding experience that allows you to use your talents and make a positive impact. So by combining work as a professional photographer with your volunteering opportunities, you can gain comprehensive experience that covers both the technical and the business aspects. Photography, it's a great way to learn without a significant financial investment. Now, this next one is probably one you wouldn't expect to be on my list. It's more of a fun one, and I call it Fun with Friends. Before we move on to our next topic, I want to throw out just something maybe a bit unusual, but fun and beneficial. A photography scavenger hunt. Now, this is one of many things that you could do. I'm just throwing out one. This is a fantastic way to learn and practice your photography skills while having a blast. So here's how it works. First, you gather a handful of your friends. You could invite fellow photographers, friends, family, or members to join in. Then you create a list of the items or themes or concepts that you want to photograph. These can be, maybe, let me give you a couple of ideas. Maybe you could have something blue, reflection, unusual angles, candid moment. You come up with your own titles, just like you might find at a photography tournament, like the annual San Antonio Photography Tournament that we do every year, has different topics. Well, you can do this with a friend, and in this instance, you can get as creative as you like. You're going to set a time limit, decide on a time frame, maybe a couple of hours, maybe all morning, maybe an entire day. It's up to you. But this adds a bit of excitement, but it also adds a sense of urgency so that it gets done. And so remember, the next thing I want you to explore and to photograph. So go out in your local area and start hunting. There's a great way to explore new places and see familiar ones in a brand new way. And then, of course, we want to share. We want to compare. And this is after the photography, the photo hunt. You upload your images to a place where all the participants have the ability to see and to be able to comment. For instance, you could create your own private Facebook group, and it's just for this event, and you're only inviting those who are participating. So it's fascinating to see how different people interpret the same prompts. Not only is this a fun activity, but it also encourages you to think creatively, to practice your photography skills in various scenarios, and to bond with other people who enjoy photography. Plus, it's free; it doesn't cost you anything. It costs you some gas if you're going to be driving around, but relatively inexpensive. So the next time you're looking for a unique way to practice photography, consider organizing a photography scavenger hunt. I might even help you if you ask. So I want to move on to local. By the way, if any of this is resonating with you, do me a favor, go over to the comments section and enter in just yes, or thanks, or I like that idea, or share some of your own. Next is local organizations and classes. So now that we've explored some hands-on, excellent online and hands-on learning opportunities, let's move into some local opportunities that can help you gain experience. The photographers in your area, camera clubs, photography clubs. Joining a local camera club and another photographer groups that actually meet can be incredibly beneficial to your growth as a photographer. So you can be networking with camera clubs that provide a platform to meet fellow photographers, to exchange ideas, to build a supportive community, to hear speakers. And you're learning. So many clubs organize activities such as photo walks, where you can practice in different settings. There's a lot of times speakers where you can hear and listen and interact with them. Sometimes have sessions are valuable for receiving constructive feedback on your work real time right now. So it helps you to understand your strengths and your weaknesses or your areas for improvement. Some camera clubs have competitions, so all different kinds of things that you can do in these different camera clubs. So uh, I'm going to share one with you, but before I do that, a friend of mine named Trish Stone commented just a couple of days ago on Facebook about local camera clubs, and she was responding to someone who was asking about learning, but she said, "What kind of photography?" There are a few clubs in town, and personally, I grew exponentially just by meeting up with them regularly. Uh, Critiquing each other's work and shooting together. We share what we know. If you just want to learn general basic photography, come join a local camera club and learn. And she was sharing her experience. That was Trish, who is a friend who Trish Stone, who is just sharing her thoughts and how she feels about camera clubs. For those of you watching who are in my area, here are two of my favorite camera clubs. Now, one is the amateur and professional side, leans a little bit professional, but it's more amateur, and that's my organization called Photo SA, and the other is PPSA. Let me talk about each one of those one at a time. So Photo SA is a friendly group of photography enthusiasts dedicated to the advancement of photography as art, hobby, and profession. It started in 2006 and has had 400 or 500 different events since then. So a very active over time group. And then the Professional Photographers of San Antonio, which I'm a member of, but it's not my organization. It's run by several people. They've got a board, so it changes each year. But they describe themselves on their website as founded in 1968. PPSA is a member of the Professional Photographers of America Community Network. We represent all levels of professional experience and photographic interests. Our purpose is to provide a dynamic atmosphere where members can grow and learn, as well as stay up with current trends in the industry. So that is PPSA, who I definitely can recommend. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is workshops and seminars. So finding affordable workshops and seminars in your area is another fantastic way to enhance your skills. Some workshops are going to be very expensive. I've seen some well up into the thousands of dollars. I've also seen some that were like $50. So yeah, all different range. So you may find different low-cost ones at public school districts, local colleges and universities, many institutions offering continuing education courses in photography. They're often open to the public and they're often relatively affordable. There's also community centers. Check out your local community center for workshops and seminars. They may not be very consistent, but a lot of them have it. So these are typically low cost and may cover a variety of topics, but look for those in your community. And then photography meetups. So meetup.com, Photo SA is a member of meetup.com, but there are lots of groups. In San Antonio alone, there are 33 camera clubs that I'm aware of. Now, there are differing amounts of participation in them, differing amounts of events and things going on. Some of them haven't had an event in quite some time. Maybe they're not there anymore. I don't know. Others of them are quite active and they're doing multiple things every month. So look in your area. Most areas do have a camera club of some sort. So look for these organized workshops, these seminars that are led by professional photographers or experienced photographers. And then a lot of local camera stores have classes. For instance, here in San Antonio, we've got the Camera Exchange. But many local camera stores offer affordable, sometimes even free classes that can be incredibly valuable. Let me give you a couple of examples of what you might find at a camera store. You may find beginner photography classes. You may find some intermediate, some advanced. The basics are going to cover, the beginner ones are going to cover basics and camera settings, composition, lighting. Advanced are going to cover portrait lighting, macro photography, post-processing. So you're going to see lots of different things. You also at camera shops are going to see product demonstrations, so you can learn from the manufacturer's rep what these different tools can do and whether or not that's beneficial to you, whether it's worth the cost. And so local camera stores are a great resource for ongoing education. They may not be consistent, but they have things that are going on. So they often bring experts to teach these classes, providing high quality instruction at a formal education program. You're in their shop. And if you're there, you have a likelihood of buying something while you're there. So it's a marketing tool. It's smart. That's why they can do it for less, though, because they have something else they can sell you. Whereas just a school or an independent, somebody like me, I don't have anything else I can sell you. I only sell photography classes. There's reasons why these things exist, but local camera shops are good. Now, if you're in the San Antonio area, I'd love to see you at one of my classes at the Camera Exchange. I personally teach 2 or 3 classes a month at Camera Exchange. And the next one is just 2 days away, low light photography. And if you are interested, just go to camerax.com and then click on classes so you can get more details. Now, the next one I want to mention is hosting your own learning opportunities. So I mentioned earlier that you could create a fun experience hosting a photo scavenger hunt. Another great way to reduce costs and gain valuable experiences by hosting your own learning opportunities. You could do what some people call a styled shoot or a styled photo session or a styled class. This is where something has been fixed. It's been if it's shot, the models, the clothing, the makeup and hair, all these things have been put together by an organizer. You could be that organizer. Maybe you can bring in someone to actually teach a class or host it. But if you put that together, then you can invite your friends, and that would make it a lower cost per person. So hosting your own styled photo sessions. There's also, collaborative learning where it's similar to that, but maybe you're just, instead of going through the process of an entire styled session, you are just having a class where you hire somebody like me or someone else who who wants to share the kind of information that you're looking for. You hire that person, you get a bunch of your friends together, and that you tell them that's what you're going to do, but you are setting that up, and it lowers your price per person. And this could be even inviting guest speakers. Now these overlap just a little bit, but you could host a luncheon for your connections in the photography world. Invite experienced photographers to give talks or demonstrations. So hosting your own workshops and learning sessions can be a fun, cost-effective way to enhance your skills and build a supportive community of photographers. And if you are in the San Antonio area, then reach out to me, because I do this kind of thing often, at least once a month. I do what I'm now talking about, put things together. If you're in the San Antonio area, I'd be happy to help you out and make that happen. If you're not, then I'm happy to help, but I wouldn't be able to directly help with it. I certainly wouldn't be able to be there. So additional resources for free or low cost education. So before I wrap this up, let's quickly cover a few more resources for gaining free or low cost photography education. So online courses. Now, most online courses, there is a charge for it, but there are some that there is no charge for it. And some of you may have heard about Harvard University having an online photography course, and they did, but now I can't find it. I was looking for it, couldn't find it. I found a handful of websites that talked about it and had links to it, but those links led to an error 404 message. There's nothing there anymore. So either they have changed the location of this free that Harvard has, or had, but it's not at the same link that it used to be. So maybe that one doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean that others don't exist, because there are platforms like Coursera, edX, Education X, and Udemy that offer affordable courses on photography. These courses are often taught by industry professionals and cover everything from the basics to advanced topics and techniques. We also have public libraries. So don't forget about your local public library. They have extensive collections of photography books and magazines that you can borrow or just, but a lot of resources in your public library. Maybe you haven't even been to your library in a while. Maybe you've never been. Go check it out. But they also have access to learning platforms like LinkedIn Learning, where you can find professional photography courses. So there you go. Another is practice and experimentation. So here's the last one for this presentation. Never underestimate the power of practice. So create your own do-it-yourself assignments and personal challenges, like you're gonna that you like for the next month. You could do a self-assignment called Beauty in Your Own Backyard, which I have assigned to my own students. It's a fun one to do. Or you could focus on a specific theme each month, where you're photographing several of the same thing, but you theme each month, and maybe next year those images. I've got some closing thoughts for you. Man, I could keep on going, but our time's up. So I want to recap for you some of the main points and takeaways. First, you've got some free online resources. You've got this show. You've got YouTube channels like Peter McKinnon and Jessica Kobiesi and Tony and Fronos, who offer tutorials and gear reviews and all kinds of stuff like that. You have hands-on learning opportunities like internships, apprenticeships, and shadow programs that are providing invaluable real-world experience. Remember, these roles often require a significant amount of time, but they're worth it because of the knowledge and skills that you're going to gain from those experiences. And then you've got work and learn. So you're getting a job, a paid job, getting a job with a local photographer as a salesperson, assistant, or second. This provides some hands-on insights. You can volunteering at community events. You can volunteer with local organizations and these are helping you build portfolio and gain valuable experiences. You can work with local organizations by joining those camera clubs and those photography groups so that you can enhance your skills through networking, critique sessions, competition, and more. You could do workshops, seminars, and classes at places like the Camera Exchange, where I'll be in 2 days. I teach 2 or 3 times a month, but these are also fantastic learning opportunities. And you've got additional resources, so don't forget about online courses that are free, some public libraries, and the importance of practice through personal projects and fun activities. I encourage all of you to keep sharing your own budget education, photography education tips and experiences in the comments. And if you have found this show to be helpful, will you do me a favor and tell me that over in the comments? Your insights and compliments are incredibly invaluable and help others in the community. So give you just a moment to do that. If you want to say thanks, I appreciate this, or whatever it is you want to say, let me know over in the comments. Depending on which way, I guess it's over there, that it's the comments. As you know, the Portrait Profit Show Monday at noon, with the exception of the second Monday of each month, where we move it to 6:30 in the evening. And that is next Monday. So 1 week from today, we're moving at 6:30 in the evening because we've got a panel discussion. And I'm going to tell you about that and the additional Portrait Profit shows that we have coming up for the next several shows. So in this, and I'll put that up on the screen, there it is. A panel discussion on how I keep up with the changes. As a portrait photographer, you wear many hats. As an artist, a marketer, you're a business owner, and so much more. Keeping up with technological advancements can feel yet like another hat to wear, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So this discussion, 1 week from today, will provide you with practical, actionable insights to help your business. Now, you're going to hear from 3 different photographers. You're going to hear their perspectives. I'm going to ask each one of them the same question so you can hear that same topic from multiple points of view, so you can grow and gain in that understanding. A week after that, June 17th, this one is called Build Your Feedback System. We're going to be exploring for creating that enhances your portrait photography business. You're going to learn how to craft the perfect survey, set clear expectations with your clients, and use autoresponders to ensure that you receive valuable insights. You're going to discover how to act on this feedback to continuously improve your services and build stronger client relationships. And by the way, this topic came up recently, and by one of you just asking me a question. Now, I had this already on the list, moved it up because of that question. So that one's coming up on June 17th at noon, Build Your Feedback Systems. And on June 24th at noon, Turning Emotions, even self-doubt, into positive energy. That's on June 24th at noon. And on just a few more, I'm just going to share with you the titles. On June 1st, Plan Your 2025 Today. On June 8th, a discussion panel on plan. I'll stop with Random Acts of Portraiture. Okay, that one sounds odd. Maybe I should tell you what that one's about. You're going to discover how random acts of portraiture can transform your photography business by combining community engagement with innovative marketing strategies. You're going to learn how to give back through free portrait sessions. I know some of you are against that, but hear me out. Stronger client relations. You're going to be growing your brand. I want you to join me because I'm going to give you some step-by-step plans, some real-life success stories, and practical tips for long-term impact, because this is something you can do for those who can't afford what you're doing and you want to give back. By the way, this is inspired by a guy named Spencer, who every Friday, he does not a photographer. He mows lawns, and he does pressure washing. And every Friday, he donates his time back to the community. He finds a house that has not been mowed in weeks or months. It's in bad condition, and he goes and helps out that family. This is what this one is by. You're going to be impressed. You're going to have a different perspective. You're going to love it. But that's June 15th, Random Acts of Portraiture. I want to thank you, Lens Legends, for joining me today for show 70, Photography Education on a Tight Budget. Your dedication to learning and improving your craft is inspiring, not just to me, but to other photographers. Photography is a journey, and there are countless ways to grow and develop your skills. Keep experimenting. Keep having fun. Stay passionate. Stay curious. I can't wait to see the incredible work that you create. I encourage you to like and share the Portrait Profit Show. And of course, tune in to our next live stream a week from today at 6:30. Put it on your calendar. I want to see you there. I want you to be successful in your photography business. And if you want to stop the struggle, because it doesn't have to be that way, I want to help you get where you want to be. I encourage you to reach out to me, Jim@landersphotoschool.com. By the way, you could also reach out to me at Jim@portraitprofits.com, but I try to keep my number of emails that I tell people simple. So Jim@landersphotography.com, landersphotoschool.com. Actually, that's another one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make each and every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. Together, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in our world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I bring you the weekly Portrait Profits Show. Until next time, Lens Legends, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep making your mark in the world of portrait photography. I look forward to watching you grow. I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you at the next Portrait Profits Show. Bye for now.